what King David said about that valley, Book of the shop.
Psalm 23 and 4. Yea, I walk through the valley of the shadow of death.
Read it again, Book of the shop.
Yea, so I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. I will fear no evil. For thou art with me.
Yep.
Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me.
See? So King David, through the Spirit, is prophesying through a projection of dwelling under the shadow of the heathen, which is an embodiment of idolatry, pharmaceutical, which go back to pharmakia, witchcraft, religious debauchery, worshiping white man Jesus, bowing down to a rock in Islam. So what we've been taught is a tradition of men that is shrouded in idolatry, that is shrouded in witchcraft, blood sacrifices, blood rituals. That is a spirit of the Queen of Heaven. Why you think the women are heads of the households? Why you think we were given Mother Mary? So we've been seduced in our mindset, in our way of thinking. Let's look up that word valley, and the valley of the shadow of death.
The word valley in Hebrew is pronounced Hayah.
Yep.
And it says valley, a steep valley with narrow waters. And the strong definition is
Haughty in there too. It's haughty. Haughty and proud. So valley it's a pathway to death. It's a pathway to death. So it is a route that leads off the cliff. It leads to destruction. And then when you look up valley, it's also a low-lying area of morality. But it's filled with haughtiness, pride, which is the god of Babylon. I'm proud to be an American. Nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force. So that valley is shrouded in pride, idolatry, Queen of Heaven spirit. So it is deception. It builds up your pride, but it dumbs you down. The Rothschilds funded our educational system and institution. So we were taught how to be corporate employees, slaves, when you break it down. Let's go to 2 Ezra 8 and 50, the book of John. So we've been indoctrinated with a slave mindset, which starts with idolatry, bowing down to idols. When Esau Edom is an idol. Christianity is shrouded in idols and witchcraft. So the slavery starts in our mindset. We get enslaved first by being spiritually seduced or indoctrinated by our oppressors' philosophies of man and doctrines of devils. So it creates a perpetual state of servitude. Our educational system reinforces this mindset. Who's got it? 2 Ezra 8 and 50.
The book of 2 Ezra 8 and 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them, that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride.
See, because they have walked in great pride. So pride is the beginning of a fall or a trip. Whenever you see somebody with their head lifted up high and haughty, guess what? They lack periphery. They can't see the obstacles that lie before them. They can't see the stumbling blocks before them. They can't see that they've been spiritually seduced. They got blinders on when their head is and their chin is lifted up high. Hell, in a boxing match, you get knocked out if your chin is held too high. Okay, let's keep going. 2 Ezra 8 and 50. Yes, sir.
2 Ezra 8 and 51.
Yep.
But understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee. For unto you is paradise open. The tree of life is planted. The time has come. The time to come is prepared. Plenteousness is made ready. A city is builded, and the rest is allowed. Yea, perfect goodness and wisdom.
So the kingdom of heaven is at hand, which is starting with the word being preached right now. We're preaching something that the average human mind cannot even possibly fathom. It's greater than our wildest imagination. We're preaching something that is going to be eternal and not die or not fade away. Let's get Psalms 118 and 17. What we're teaching is a paradise that is being presented before us. Not false Christianity, where Big Mama jump around with a goddamn wig falling off, talking about she's got the Holy Spirit. What we're teaching is bigger and better than what we can ever imagine. So this doctrine is a breath of life. It's going to greatly exceed what we even imagine in our own mind. Let's get that book to Psalms 118 and 17. Psalms 118 and 17.
118 and 17.
Yes, sir.
I shall not die, but live, and declare the works of Yahweh Yahweh Shai.
So the doctrine of life is being taught right now. And the works are going to be declared as well through the deliverance out of Babylon, through the destruction of our enemies. But the doctrine of life has been freed into the Lord's elect, his remnant, the anointed ones. Read that again, Book of John.
Verse 17. 118. Psalm 118 and 17.
Come on.
I shall not die,
Yep.
but live, and declare the works of Yahweh while Yahweh Shai.
That's right. Just stop at 19, Book of John.
To open to me the gates of righteousness. I will go into them.
Did you say gates? Get Isaiah 26 and 20.
Gates.
So the gates of righteousness, it starts with being caught up into the Cadillacs of the sky, the chariots of the Lord. That is being saved. We got Christians walking around talking about they're saved. Nuclear destruction is going to bring. Russia just established a satellite-triggered nuclear weapon. So now they got a satellite-triggered nuclear arsenal now in space. They've cut down the traditional travel times of a 1-hour flight time. That flight time has been cut down to 15 to 20 minutes. So the time to repent and live is now.
That's right.
Read that again about that gates. And we're going to come right back to where we left off. Yes, sir.
Jeremiah 1, I think it's 1 and 20 goes into that. Because, like you said, that's big news. That's big news. That, hey, man, Russia right now, through satellites, they able to show in the arrival time, because that's what it's all about, right? It's all about the arrival time of what? The thermonuclear missile. All right, from Russia, where? To the United States. All right, because you go to Babylon. All right, and those missiles are made to do what? To cause damage and to destroy, all right, Babylon, and to destroy 2/3 out of the nation of Israel. All right, you got it, brother?
Got it. Jeremiah 1 and 25.
25. Yeah, chapter 1. Yeah, chapter. Not 25. Like, go to third. There you go. Start at 11.
It's in Jeremiah 1 and 11.
Right.
Moreover, the word of the Lord Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai came unto me, saying,
Right.
Jeremiah, what seest thou? And I said, I see a rod of an almond tree.
Right, rod of an almond tree, right? And it's talking about what the nation of Israel is going through, their Lord. And it's talking about ultimately the fact that the Heavenly Father, through his son Yahweh Shai, is going to protect his elect. All right? How do you know? If you go into the symbolism of an almond tree, it tells you that. All right? It tells it's like a hidden. As a matter of fact, bring that up. You can just look at look up symbolism of an almond tree. You know, just so that you can get an understanding. And then it tells you exactly, you know, the conundrum that we had, right? You have the nation of Israel located in a land that's going to be absolutely wiped out. All right? The land that the elect have to be delivered prior to that land being wiped out. All right? You got it?
It says, the almond with its seed concealed behind an outer hole.
Right?
In a hard shell symbolizes the purity of the virgin and the hidden godliness within the human shape of Yahweh Shai.
There you go. There's the purity and the hidden godliness. All right? So you're talking about the relationship between Israel and Yahweh Shai. You talk about Yahweh Shai purifying his elect, faith. And then Yahweh Shai what? Delivering his elect. Because if you look at the nation of Israel, all are sinners. Right? We all sinners. We all falling short of the glory. But why is it that you got a certain number of people that will be delivered from the destruction? Why? Because it's that purity which comes through faith. All right?
Then said the Lord unto me,
Right?
Thou hast well seen,
Right, that has well said. That was the first time, right?
for I will hasten my word to perform it.
Right, and the Lord is performing. If you read like any of the as a matter of fact, you read get back to verse 7.
Jeremiah 1:12, and the Lord said, That's right. It means that I am watching,
I am watching, right?
and I will certainly carry out all my plans.
And I will certainly carry out all my plans. And the plans of the Lord is to deliver the nation of Israel, who is using his son prior to what? What is it? Read the next verse.
Verse 13, and the word of the Lord came unto me the second time,
Right.
saying, What seest thou? And I said, I see a seething pot,
I see a seething pot. Go ahead.
and the face thereof is toward the north.
Well, and the face thereof is towards the north. Now read that was it on that? Now read the NLT verse.
Verse 13 in Jeremiah 1, the Lord spoke to me again and asked, What do you see now? And I replied, I see a pot of boiling water
Right.
spilling from the north.
Spilling from the north. So what's that pot of boiling water spilling from the north? Now, when you go back into the ancient times, remember Israel was basically taken down from what? The Babylonians. They came down. All right, they came down from the north. But when you move forward, it's not talking about the land of Israel back as it is right now. The Middle East. It's talking about the fact that where we are right now, where Israel is right now, there's something that's about to spill over, and that north right there is not talking about the United States, it's talking about from Russia. It's coming down. So that north right there is talking about Russia. So something is seething, something about to spill over. All right, into the land of Israel, into Israel. And what is that thing that's going to be spilling over? No condition. All right. So Jeremiah saw what he saw. No condition hitting this. What?
Verse 14,
Yeah.
then the Lord said unto me, out of the north, an evil shall break forth upon all the inhabitants of the land.
There you go. Read that again. Out of the north. Go ahead.
Jeremiah 1 and 14, then the Lord said unto me, out of the north.
Out of the north. That north right there, don't get it mistaken. It's not talking about, you know, the other places Jeremiah it talks about the salvation from the north. Right? We always talk about the north country, which is North America, the salvation. Well, this north right here is talking about Russia. It says there's an evil that's coming out of the north to come into the land. What land? Remember Zechariah 13, right? Let me get that, 13 and 8. All right, these are little things that you have to know, so you understand, okay, that north right there is talking about the Russians, man. You get Zechariah,
Zechariah 13 and 8, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord,
That's their land. What is their land? That's the United States. Babylon. Go ahead.
saith the Lord, two parts therein shall be cut off and
Right?
die.
2 parts there shall be cut off and die. 2/3 of our people right here in the United States, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they're going to be absolutely wiped out by building this. And it goes with what the brother was talking about as far as like, there's a great evil that's rising up from what? From Russia. All right? And that evil is what? Because the word evil means bad. All right? So now we're going to Jeremiah 12.
Jeremiah 1 and 12. And the Lord said, That's right. It means that I am watching, and I will certainly carry out all my plans.
Yes, Lord is watching. You got these degenerates out here. Acting like the Most High is not watching. Right? They keep on doing evil and more wickedness because nothing is happening to them as a mass. They think that the Most High is okay with this nonsense. Right? Good.
Then the Lord spoke to me again and asked, What do you see now? And I replied, I see a pot of boiling water spilling from the north.
Go ahead.
Yes, the Lord said, Prepare from the north will boil out on the people of this land.
Hey man, because just like in the days of Noah, it rained down water, right? Well, guess what? The Most High going rain down through hot water, which is basically It's not going to be actual hot water. These are symbolisms. All right? It's going to be filled with rain upon the United States, man. And listen, if we get closer and closer to this thing, we have to continue to what? To hunker down spiritually and mentally for what we get ready to do. All right?
Okay. Jeremiah 16:4. They shall 14. 14.
Yeah. That's Jeremiah. Yeah, read that.
Jeremiah. Okay, got it. Sorry, I misspoke. Sorry. They shall die of grievous death. They shall not be lamented, neither shall they be buried, but they shall be as dung upon
Call it when you got it. Call it and read it.
Got it. Therefore, behold.
Now call it. Call it. Call the whole.
Chapter and
It's like, 16 and 14.
Yes, sir.
Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Most High, that shall no more be said, the Most High liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. Verse 15. But the Most High liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north.
From the what?
From the land of the north.
So this is why we got to understand how the scriptures speak together and link together. Remember, we're in the spiritual side of Egypt right now. Did not Revelation 11 and 8 talk about that? Just like Ra'ash was talking about, this destruction is coming upon the land of the north. So the Most High is getting ready to do something very spectacular. Most of us brothers have seen the visions. This is not a game. We're living in some very crucial moments right now. Keep going, beloved.
Jeremiah 16 15. And from all the lands whither he hath driven them, and I will bring them again in their own land that I gave them unto their fathers.
So we're getting ready to enter into a period of rest, which starts with going into the chariots of the Lord, the chariots of our salvation. We're getting ready to get freed from this bondage, brothers. We're close. We can feel it in our spirit. This is why the earth is being turned upside down. We're getting ready to enter into tribulation, to transition into a new kingdom. You see that? So we're very close. It's going to start with the destruction of the daughter of Babylon. Brother, let's go to Sirach 40. Whenever you start to see the tribulations, you start to see people rioting, protesting. There's a loss of faith and trust in the government, loss of faith and trust in our leaders. We're finding out we're being poisoned. Everything we eat, consume is hazardous to our health. We're being made into commodities for a food and drug administration that is in bed with the pharmaceutical drug companies. So everybody is angry in these last days. We're working for pennies for the dollar. We're dying in mass and sickness. Broken households. Go ahead, beloved. Yes, sir.
Sirach 40 and 1.
Let's go.
Great travail is created for every man, and in heavy yoke is upon the sons of Adam. From the day that they go out of their mother's womb till the day that they return to the mother of all things.
So we're looking at a rebirth that is getting ready to transpire. But it comes with contractions, suffering, sorrow, pain. The death of one kingdom entered into the rebirth of Jacob. Life, immortality. It's going to come with suffering. Come on.
Verse 2.
Yes, sir.
It says, their imagination of things to come in the day of death trouble their thoughts and cause fear of heart.
So we're getting ready to go into Jacob's trouble, Israel. We're getting ready to see persecution on the level that we never dreamed of. They got dogs, robot dogs, that are armed with rapid fire machine guns. They got unmanned aerial drones that can stop, that can drop poisonous gas, that can survey you from your house to wherever you decide to go from there, and target you with laser-guided munitions. They can drop poisonous gas from the air and take out an entire city. We're getting ready to see artificial intelligence weaponry at a mass scale. Come Come on, brother.
Sirach 40 and 3.
Yes, sir.
From him that sitteth on a throne of glory, unto him that is humbled in earth and ashes. From him that weareth purple in a crown, unto him that is clothed with a lighted frock.
So we're getting ready to see a transition of authority here. Those that are decked out in royalty, purple and gold, the rich, the wicked global elite, they're getting ready to be humble. But the poor and the upright in heart, those that are the lowly spirit, that are meek, that are teaching His word and that trust in His word, are getting ready to be exalted and brought up from the clutches of death. Come on, brother.
Sirach 40 and 5.
Yes, sir.
Wrath and envy, trouble and unquietness, fear of death and anger and strife.
Let's put it in Jeremiah 30, book of Shah Salakia. See that? So these are tribulations, which is marking the transition of an age. No kingdom is ushered in by dancing ballerina girls, okay? And a staff of bakery chefs and bakers. So we're going to see death and bloodshed on a massive scale.
Right.
Read that again about that trouble, beloved. Yes, sir.
Sirach 40 and 5.
Come on.
Wrath and envy, trouble and unquietness, fear of death and anger and strife.
Yep.
And in the time of rest upon his bed, his night sleep, do change his knowledge.
So we're getting ready to go into a period where it's total persecution and restlessness, sorrow and mourning. Jacob is in the crosshairs because the wicked global elite know who you are. So they're coming after you with everything they have in their AI arsenal and their military team, advanced armored vehicles that are moving on satellite global positioning system technology, that have infrared technology that can track your body heat signatures, Jake, and take you out with heat-seeking munitions. The ammunition you see is 30 years outdated that you're seeing right now. They got ammo that can cut corners and strike your body signature heat.
Right.
This is going to be massive death. Come on, brother. Jeremiah 30.
Jeremiah 30.
Yes, sir.
At the top,
Yep.
the word that came to Jeremiah from the Most High saying, thus speaketh the Most High,
Yep.
God of Israel, saying, write these all the words that I have spoken unto thee in a book. Verse 3, for lo, the days come, saith the Most High,
Yep.
I will bring again the captivity of my people, Israel and Judah, saith the Most High.
So Israel is being reconsolidated and reorganized.
Right.
That captivity being mustered together, gathered by the word. Come on.
And I will cause them to return to the land that I gave them to their fathers, and shall possess it.
See that word return, the Hebrew shawah. We can't return to something that was never given to us. So this is coming back to the word of covenant, the word of promise. These are some very exciting times. So Israel is waking up through repentance and being born again, washed by the word. Come on, brother.
And these are the words, like in verse 4, and these are the words that the Most High spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah.
Israel and Judah. So salvation, we just read who it's for. Israel must be set back in order before the nations can see a righteous kingdom. It can't be the other way around. So we got to preach the word to the leadership authority, the emerging government. Come on, brother.
Verse 5.
Yes, sir.
For thus saith the Most High, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear,
Yep.
and not of peace.
Marking the transition into a new age. The birth of Jacob is at the forefront. So we're at the precipice of a new age. Come on, bro.
Jeremiah 6,
Let's go.
ask ye now, and seek whether any man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail.
So the Most High is being poetic here. Okay, what he's describing here is the rebirth or the renaissance of the kingdom of Jacob right here. But remember, it does not come with an easy hopscotch or a skip or waltz into the kingdom. It's going to come with birth pains, tribulation, The Most High is very poetic. Mourning, suffering, death. Come on.
And all faces turn into paleness.
Let's go.
Verse 7.
Yep.
Alas, for the day is great, so that none is like it.
Yep.
It is even the time of Jacob's trouble,
Beautiful.
for he shall be saved out of it.
Well, he shall be what?
Be saved out of
So
it.
we're entering into deliverance, Jay. This is serious business. We're close. We can feel it in our spirit.
right.
So this is that birth of the age of Jacob.
That's right.
Come on, bro. Yes, sir.
Goes right into it. Go ahead.
Job 11 and 14.
Beautiful.
If iniquity be in thine hand,
Right.
put it far away,
Right, so if iniquity is in your head, put it far away as an Israelite. Go ahead.
and let not wickedness dwell in thy tabernacle.
Go ahead.
For then shall thou lift up thy face without spot. Yea, thou shalt be steadfast and shalt not fear,
Go ahead.
because thou shalt forget thy misery, remember it as waters that pass away. And thine age shall be clearer than the noonday.
There you go. Then it says if you do that, you have faith in Yahweh by Hashem outside. It says then thine age shall be clearer than noonday.
How?
Because you have a lot of Israelites that don't understand that this is our age. Like, and they don't understand the age, meaning the season in which we're going into, the transition, like the brother's talking about. All right? And you're not going to get a bloodless transition or bloodless revolution. All right? For changes to happen, there must be sacrifices. All right? It's not going to be a sacrifice of a bull, right? An animal. It's going to be what? Lives being sacrificed, man. All right? You have 2/3. What do you think the 2/3 are? The 2/3 are part of the sacrifice of us, the ushering also of the new age. All right? The hope of the life of what we go through now, sacrificing is to us of the new age. So sacrifice is being made. If you think your sacrifice is a hope for the life of what? Of putting away iniquity from you, how do you do that? How do you put away iniquity? By faith. And Yahweh by Shem Shah, and then doing the works that come with it. But primarily faith. If you do that, then the Heavenly Father is going to make clear to you what's going on. All right? So you're not going to get mixed up in the world because you got what? We got Israelites right now that wear garments, right? Call themselves being in different camps. And then you see them hanging out with the world. You see them having wicked, grimy niggas, right? Attending their Passover. That means that they clearly don't understand what? Their age. They don't understand the season that we live. That's why they're moving the way they're moving. And they're not going to receive the reward that they think they're going to receive. All right? Why? Because they're still living in iniquity. A lot of them, they reject the word of the Lord. They reject the men of the Lord. Some of them say, hey, the men that publish the book, they don't acknowledge the words of the book. Meaning, if you reject what any of these men published in this book, you rejecting Yahweh Shah. Because all of them came in the spirit of Yahweh Shah. He is the body of the book. All right?
Everything that's pure fire is coming out right now. And listen to the men of the Lord. You're seeing a fleshly man, but a spiritual message is coming out of an earthly vessel. This is why we got to take this ministry serious. Okay? Whenever the men of the Lord speak, it's time to shut down the music, the iPad, and all the other distractions. And pay attention. You got it, beloved. 2 Ezra 7, let's start at 42. Yeah.
2 Ezra 7 and 42.
Yes, sir.
He answered me and said, this present life is not the end, where much glory doeth abide. Therefore have they prayed for the weak. 43. But the day of doom shall be at the end of this time, and the beginning of the immortality for to come, wherein corruption is past.
Are we not talking about Jacob being born back into rulership? We got to read that again, brother, because we're getting ready to exit the womb of the daughter of Babylon, the mistress of harlots, and be delivered and come out on the other side, immortals, change.
Right.
Read it again, Boom Kasha.
2 Ezra 7 and 42.
Yes, sir.
He answered me and said, this present life is not the end, where much glory doeth abide.
So we're under a shadow of the heathen, the shadow of death.
Right.
This is temporary. Come on.
Therefore have they prayed for the weak. 43. But the day of the doom shall be the end of this time, and the beginning of the immortality for to come, wherein corruption is past.
So the elements are going to melt with fervent heat, but it's going to be preceded with tribulation, civil war, riots, uproars of the people. But Jacob is going to come out unscathed, changed. Come on.
And temperance is at an end, and fidelity is cut off.
Beautiful.
Righteousness is grown.
Say what?
Righteousness is grown.
Come on.
And truth is sprung up.
See, that righteousness is grown and truth is sprung up. Go to Psalms 144 and get that where we're as plants. It's somewhere around verse 14. We're planted.
Right quick.
You got it.
Because I always bring this out, right?
Yeah.
Read that
Got it, brother.
2 Ezra 7 and 43.
Right.
But the day of doom shall be at the end of this time.
Now, when you look up the word doom, I always bring this up. Like, when you look up the word doom online, you go all the way down. It says, D-H is the word, D-H-E-H-E. It says to set place for the doom. It says law. All right? Demas, it means law. So if you're talking about the word doom, it goes back to the word law. Now, why the scripture says call the day of the law doom? Why? Because that's the day of judgment according to the law, statutes, and commandments. All right? So doom, death, and destruction, although it's evil, meaning it's a bad time, it's a righteous day. All right? So the word doom goes back to the word law. Now, we don't want, that's why we know we're not going to be saved according to what? Our ability to keep the law. We don't want to be judged. We don't want to be judged with our ability to keep the law. Because if the Lord is judging us according to our ability to keep the law, guess what it is? It's doomsday for us. Because all of us are sinners. So we want to be judged according to what? Our faith in Yahweh Shah. That's the only thing that's going to protect us. The keeping of the laws is something that we do as Israelites. That's just what we do. Sometimes we fail, sometimes we succeed, but we don't look at that as the standard for deliverance. Right.
You know, and this is why faith in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai is first and foremost. We got Sakari, mainly IUIC, teaches we got to keep the law perfectly. There's no way in the world dwelling under the shadow of death, evildoers, wicked rulers, can we keep the law perfectly. We got moles walking by us left and right. The moment we spot them and not do anything about it, we're off. Our garments mix fabric. So you don't understand the scriptures when you talk about keeping the law perfectly. It's not possible. We got food manufacturers putting pork fat in to the ingredients. Matter of fact, some of the red wine, they found that pork fat and it gives it a certain flavor. See? So what are you talking about? Faith. Abraham had faith. Was Abraham an Israelite? No. But he had faith. He was a son of the Most High.
Right. You know what they're talking about. They're talking about doing. Alright? They're trying to get you to be doing. That's why Paul told the Galatians who has bewitched you into believing that the keeping of the law, statutes, and commandments perfectly will be the way to salvation. Alright? So we understand that. And we're gonna keep harping on it, right? Because you have, again, one of the biggest issues is guys that know that they're Israelites in these kids going on. Alright? Going on. Knowing the truth is still going on. So they have to be exposed for what they are. Alright? That's all we can do.
Yeah, you got it.
2 Ezra 7 and 44.
Yes, sir.
And temperance is at an end, and fidelity is cut off. Righteousness is grown, and the truth is sprung up.
See? So righteousness is grown the plants of the Lord's vineyard. Once again, he's a poet. See? So he's talking about the plants of his divine vine, the root and offspring of David. See? So these are a noble vine is springing up. 2 Ezra 6 and 24, book of John. You got it, King. Psalms 144 and 11.
This is Psalm 144 and 11.
Yes, sir.
Rid me and deliver me from the hand of strange children,
Yep.
who whose mouth speaketh vanity, and their right hand is a right hand of falsehood.
So we're under wicked, evil men.
Right.
Okay? We're under the wicked right now. Edom. King David is a prophet. You got to keep in mind when you're reading King David, he's projecting into the future.
That's right.
You can get thrown off if you get stuck in the past.
That's right.
You're going to come up last.
Well, hey, brother, as a matter of fact, there's a scripture in Psalms where King David said, "Oh, Babylon, the whole virgin daughter of Babylon, that ought to be destroyed." And we know that David's timeline and Babylon is nowhere near in the same space. Right? We know that. So what Babylon is he talking about? What Babylon is King David talking about? You got it? You bring that up.
That's like Raj, if you don't mind. Just don't give that mess your head up. What Raj just said, this is heavy. Remember, King David was on the earth around 1000 BC. When did the Babylonians take down Jerusalem? 586. Hey, the Most High is a bad man. 586 BC. How in the world is King David talking about the daughter of Babylon? He's on the earth in 1000 BC. This Bible is a bad book. Who's got it?
Psalm 137 and 8.
Right.
O daughter of Babylon, who ought to be destroyed.
Oh, daughter, come on now, man. How can he know that, man?
Wow.
Oh, daughter of Babylon, who ought to be destroyed, right?
Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us.
So hold up. For him to know that, he would have to have came after who? He would have to have came after Jeremiah and Isaiah and them. Right? So come on, man. So again, David was a prophet. It was clear as day he was a prophet. Well, actually, when you go, I think when you go to Psalms 20, this 22nd chapter, if I'm not mistaken, the words that he utters, some of the words that he speaks of, is really he's speaking as what Yahweh Shah was speaking. You know, he talks about how they parted my clothes, they parted my raiment. He was talking about how they parted the Roman soldiers parted Yahweh Shah's garment, right, when he was hung up on the cross. How in the world can David know that, man? How can he know that? That didn't happen to him? Nobody parted David. Can you bring that up? Nobody parted David's raiment. Nobody did that to him. Who's he talking about? What?
Psalm 22 and 18. They part my garments among them.
Part my garments among them. That didn't happen to David. But that happened to Yahweh Shah. It clearly tells you that when he was hung up on the cross. So what was David doing? It's called prophesying. Right?
And cast lots upon my vesture.
Right?
But be not thou far from me, O Lord, O my strength. Haste thee to help me. Deliver my soul from the sword, my darling from the power of the dog.
Well, the power of the dog. Who's the dog? The dog is Esau. Esau's a dead dog. Right? Right?
21. Save me from the lion's mouth.
Now, he's saying save me from the lion's mouth. The scripture calls Esau soldiers young, sometimes the scripture calls them young lions. And Job called them the young lions. They constantly basically patrol and oppress the nation of Israel. Like Esau's police officers, right? All these police departments, IRS, FBI, CIA, the military, right?
For thou hast heard me from the horns of the unicorn.
Now, how in the world did he know that? We know what the unicorn is. The unicorn is what? It's right here. It's the recording system that we have on the internet. That's Psalms 19, right? That's the unicorn. The unicorn is the internet. So he's saying, deliver my soul because you've heard me preaching the word from the internet.
Yep.
Read that again.
Psalm 20. Psalm 22 and 21.
Right?
Save me from the lion's mouth.
Save me from the lion's mouth. Go ahead.
For thou hast heard me from the horns of the unicorn.
Because right now you were hearing us, right? You were hearing me in the last days from the what?
From the horns of the unicorn.
From the internet. Go ahead.
22. I will declare thy name unto my brethren.
And ain't that what we doing? That's exactly what we doing. Declaring the name of Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua unto our brethren.
In the midst of the congregation will I praise thee.
In the midst of the congregation of our brethren.
This is Psalm 17 and 12.
Right?
Like a lion that is greedy of his prey, and as it were a young lion lurking in secret places.
Yeah, man. That's how we get jacked up. This Esau's like a young lion. You see how these gun-ho police officers are? You know, I mean, and the Israelite know, man. The Israelite, you know, when you get pulled over, you hear that whoop whoop. You hear that, it's like, it's a weird, to this day, it's like a weird feeling in your chest, man. If you're a Hebrew Israelite, man, you know what I'm talking about. When you get pulled over, it's like a shock. It's a weird feeling in your chest. And that feeling right there that you get every time you get pulled over, it's the feeling of knowing and acknowledging that you are an oppressed man. You can lie to yourself talking about, I'm free. You know, I'm a free man. I'm free this. And you know how you got a whole bunch of niggas talking about, I'm free and we're free. Nah, that feeling that you get when you get pulled over by 5 that feeling right there is knowing without a doubt that you are an oppressed slave right here in Babylon.
Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword.
Right, so that's the deliverance that we're talking about. All right, from what? Oppression from Edom, Esau. And the Lord is surely going to do that. And now that we get the news that Russia's going to send the missiles out here, you know, a lot swifter. And man, hey, listen, we are elated to hear that. Now, normally you'd be like, hey, man, why the hell would you be happy to know that the Russians going to light this place up and the missiles going to be flying at a faster pace? Why would you be happy? Well, it's like you asking us, why would you be happy that somebody's going to break you out of jail, right, and burn the whole prison? Well, you think, hold on, you think I should be praying that the prison stayed on and the warden is still kicking my ass? Why would I do that? So our mindset is that we've already detached from this place. We really here, physically, but spiritually and mentally, we're not here. That's what these people don't understand about the men of the Lord. Spiritually and mentally, we're not here. We're in the scriptures, we're in the spirit world. We're trying to keep up with the prophecies, the words of Yahweh Shah. But the body is here, the body is enslaved, right? Waiting for everything to manifest, right? That's basically what's happening. Right?
You got it. We're going to pick back up on what the Raj was going into. Our King David, through the Spirit, was prophesying and being heard on the unicorn, the World Wide Web, the internet.
Right.
Let's go to last two verses.
This is Psalm 6,
Yep.
verse 9. The Most High have heard my supplications.
How is he hearing the supplication? This word going out.
Right.
Cry aloud, spare none. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet.
Right.
And show my people their transgressions. Come on.
The Most High will receive my prayer. Verse 10.
Yep.
Let all my enemies be ashamed and sore vexed. Let them return.
Let them do what?
Let them return.
Let them return. Reincarnation is all throughout the Bible. So King David is accounting for the ancient Babylonians, the ancient Hamites, the ancient Egyptians, the Philistines. You see that? That took down Israel. The Babylonians and the modern spiritual Babylon, or the dawn of Babylon, America. Read that again, the last verse, the full verse.
Verse 10.
Yep.
Let all my enemies be ashamed and be sore vexed. Let them return and be ashamed suddenly.
Beautiful. Suddenly, these nuclear missiles are going to strike suddenly. Is it not written, the Lord cometh as a thief in the night? So when we're reading this, we cannot get stuck in the past. That's been there, done that. That's over with. No, he's a prophet. All right, brother.
Right.
We're going to go back to Sirach 40. And let's start around verse 9. I'll stop at 11. Let them return. So our spirits are eternal. Our bodies die, decay, and go back to the dust of the earth. Real quick, Ecclesiastes 6 and 10. You got it, love.
Sirach 40 and 9.
Yes, sir.
Death and bloodshed, strife and sword, calamities, famine, tribulation, and discourage. These things are created for the wicked.
For the what?
For the wicked.
Remember the brother said, let them return and be sore vexed. or suddenly be destroyed.
Right.
Come on.
And for their sakes came the flood.
Beautiful.
All things that are of the earth shall turn to the earth again, and that which is of the waters doeth return into the sea.
He just read reincarnation right there. You see a waterfall coming into the river, it evaporates and repeats the process. Back into the atmosphere, the cosmos, back into the water, back into the rivers. We're reading about reincarnation of the spirit. You got it, beloved. Ecclesiastes 6 and 10.
Ecclesiastes 6 and 10.
Yep.
Now that which has been named is already is known that it is man. Neither may be content with him that is mighty than he.
So that thing that is known is man. Now we got to read verse 12, and then we're going to go to Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. We'll stop at 12.
Verse 11.
Yep.
See, there may be many things that increase vanity, which is man, the better. Verse 12. For who knoweth which is good?
One moment. So remember, he just read about that vanity, being lifted up in pride, ruling in wickedness, oppressing the poor. You see? So right now, the rich man is at the helm. Esau, Edom, Amalek. When we look at Luke, the parable in Luke 16. Vanity, riches. Come on.
Verse 12.
Yep.
For who knoweth what is good for man in this life? All the days of his being
Yep.
life, which he spendeth as a shadow. For who can tell a man what shall be after him under the sun?
See that? So the riches gotten by deceit, the kingdom is getting ready to be translated from one people to another
Right.
because of the wickedness that's here.
Right.
That's 2 Ezra 15 and 6.
Also, because you gotta understand, I always tell people, even when I have regular conversations, with the regular NPC zombies, I always tell them, hey, they talk about inflation and poverty. The money never goes, the money never dies. It just goes from one hand to the other. The reason why you are extremely poor is because somebody's extremely rich. All right? That's just what it is, man. The reason why you have inflation is not some magical thing that just happened just because. It's because you have human beings that are inflating the prices of items and goods and getting richer. Well, I just got news on Paramount. It was news, Paramount, right? The company Paramount that we watch movies, you'll see Paramount Plus, yeah. They made a record amount of money this past Super Bowl. And you know what they did the following day? They fired 800 people. I mean, make that make sense, man. Make that make sense. That's how you know the collapse of the system is what? On purpose. It's man-made. Yep. Now, ultimately, we know the Lord is driving this thing down. But that's the point. They make a record amount of money. Watch. You had a record amount of people watching the Super Bowl. Let's say you had about 250 million people watch last Super Bowl that just went by. That's a record. That's a record. It tells you a lot. It tells you that Babylon is almost about to collapse. Why? Because with everything that's going on, and not only that, the prices, the Super Bowl tickets, the minimum, if I'm not mistaken, what I heard was 10K, 10 bands.
Yep.
Nosebleed, 10 bands.
Up to 30K.
So you have the economy of people struggling, people can barely pay their bills, but everything is going up, and you got crazy prices, and everybody wants to see what? Bread and services. Does that remind you of something? Yeah, the Roman Empire. If you go back to the Roman Empire, go back and rewatch the movie Gladiator. All right? Not all of it was historical facts, but it has scenes in there that was as real as it gets. Before communists started the gladiatorial games, you go back and watch the movie Gladiator. stadium. By the way, you had to buy tickets to go and see the Gladiators. All right, it ain't nothing different. You just couldn't show up just because you wanted to. You had to buy tickets to go in and watch the Gladiators. Now, Commodus the Jew, he will actually toss bread. Go back and rewatch. The Romans were so broke, they had just enough money to go and see the Gladiators in the game. Commodus had to give them free bread. So that's a sign, man. America's going down economically, socially, and what do they want to do? Instead of dealing with reality, they want to watch bread and service. And that works in the favor of Yasha'Allah, of Israel, because that's what we want. That means the average Babylonian understands deep in the spirit, game over. Go ahead. Come on. Think about that. That's so sad. Yes, economical decline. Because you living in a world, the economy is a Ponzi scheme. The economy is literally a Ponzi scheme. You out here paying money, right? And then you pay money that's backed by nothing. Guess what? Now you're going to need more of those papers, right, to buy the same or a lesser amount of products. We used to go shopping, we used to spend $100. Grocery shop, now you gotta spend at least $250. And guess what? You're buying the same items. Or less. You're buying the same items or less, and you spending more. That's inflation. It's going down, it's happening. But what do they want to do? They want to raise services, man. It's done. That's why it's over the black man. It's going on, man. And Lord willing, 2024 is that year when the shit pop off. Election day, right? Go ahead.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 10, verse 8. Go to verse 7. Pride is hateful before God and man.
So pride is hateful before God and man, all right? Because you boasting about shit, you know, the sheep said, you know, you think that you're something that you ain't. But like the brother said earlier, you really not circumspect if you're proud. And the last thing, and that also shows that you're not doing self-examination. Esau has stopped doing self-examination. Well, he actually wants to do this. He does no self-examination, right? Because to him, there is no God. When you got guys like Klaus Schwab, like the Sith Lord Klaus Schwab, you know, gets up there and talking about, you all, imagine 10 years from now, I will, you know, have a microchip. You all have implants. He didn't even say, hey, would you want to have an implant? He just told us straight up, 10 years from now, when we all have implants. You know, I'm going to be able to sense the vibration of your thoughts. So we're not going to need elections. And then dudes are sitting there like baffled, like, is this dude really saying this? Hell yeah, he's saying this. And he hella serious because guess what? All the leaders of the earth attend these meetings at Davos. And they all agree. But Klaus Schwab is nothing but what? He's still a puppet. He's still a face. The people behind the puppet is who? It's the Rothschilds. I mean, you just seen who we really believe at this point. I mean, it really is the most powerful man on the planet Earth right now. The most powerful living human on the planet Earth right now. Jacob the Rothschild, Sir Jacob the Rothschild say, hey, my family is responsible for setting up those rats over there in the land of Israel. All right? He made that statement boldly because he is, at this moment, the most powerful human alive on the planet. Everybody can take their orders from Jacob. All right?
Pride is hateful.
And ain't that a bitch? His name is Jacob. And he's a full-blown Edomite, man. He's a top Edomite on the planet Earth, and his name is Jacob. The irony on it, right?
Sirach 10 and 7. Pride is hateful before God and man.
Right.
And by both doth one commit iniquity because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit.
Right, death and destruction spread across the earth by Babylon the Great, all right? The first act that Esau did was what? Capture the nation of Israel. The apple of the Most High's eye. Going into capturing, coming over here in the Americas, capturing the northern tribes, so-called Hispanics and Native Americans, and then going out and grabbing the southern tribes, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, so-called Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians, and bringing them over here on the Western Hemisphere, all right? That's the number one reason why Esau got to be dealt with. All right, because he's still under that law. What's that law? The Levitical law of you stealing a man, right? It tells you that if thou steal a man, and if that man be found in your hand, right, that shall surely be put to death. So for you to steal us and to still have us in your hand, and you won't let us go, and don't talk about some man. Y'all can just get passports and leave. That's some bullshit, bro. Because Esau's territory and Esau's dominance is empirical. It's an empire. It's not just about leaving the United States, man. As a so-called black, Hispanic, Native American man, you can get a passport and leave America. But wherever you go, America's like an octopus. Wherever you go, that birth certificate follows you. Wherever you go, you can go to Colombia, right? You go to Colombia, you fuck up. Guess what's gonna happen? They're gonna grab your ass and send your ass back right here in America. That's what's gonna happen. You know why? Because you were a slave. Boy, you're an American slave, an American citizen. You can go wherever you want to. One mistake, you get deported where? Not to Israel, back here in America. All right? So there's no running away from this. We just gotta wait for the outside to deliver. Right?
Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit,
Right.
the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
And all the riches, all the gold hoarded by the Rothschilds and the Rockefeller, all of that gold, guess what? They're hoarding all that gold for the nation of Israel. You know, they don't even understand it, man. Listen, Esau, the Rothschilds have done a good job. Because not only gold, right? All the rubies, right? All the stones, right? Esau's been doing all this work, excavating, getting all the gold and silver and all that, putting it all in one place. So when we take over the kingdom, we ain't got to go around and do it. Right? Esau's been doing some work. All we got to do is take them down, and then we'll have the Hamites. Tell them, we'll have the Hamites. The Hamites, they're really good at whooping ass and making people do shit. Right? The Hamites will go out there, we're going to give the Hamites order. We'll sit down with the Edomites, whoop the nations in the shape. Right? Make sure the gold is distributed and all that shit. And we're going to sit back and get orders and watch and enjoy it. Alright? And we're willing to sacrifice this false sense of peace, this false sense of life here in America for real pleasure in the kingdom of heaven, which is the kingdom of Israel. Alright? We're willing to make that great sacrifice.
Read this one. This is Sirach 10 and 4. Go to verse 3. An unwise king destroyeth his people,
Right.
but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited.
And see the prudence of them which are in authority. Alright, but who's in authority now? Let me get Psalms 12 and the last verse. Because you already know what's going on, man. I mean, the Bible, I was talking to somebody earlier at the job. Crazy enough, it was an Israelite woman. You know, she was kind of well aware to a certain extent. She didn't know she was Jake, but you could see that she was really anti what's going on right now, basically, and struggling with how to mask her energy. How she just want to be out there calling people out. You know, she want to, you know, I'm not looking gays, I'm not this. She's like, I'm struggling because I hate being in their presence and so on and so forth. So we talking, we shopping it out. I was like, damn, man. So we talking about the evil that's going on, and I just told her, listen, the evil is so great. Because you talk about, well, helping people, like, the evil is so great, there's nothing we can do about this. You just got to really witness and let it play out. All right? It's so great. And I think she might have known a little bit more that she wanted to let off. I wouldn't be shocked if she's seen the videos and whatnot. But you know how it is. When you know the truth, you kind of hesitant on wanting to spill that out. So, but I wasn't going to push too much, but you can see, like, this brothers out there and there's sisters out there that reject this society, man. And having that talk was really eye-opening because you can see the struggle. She's like, man, I'm uncomfortable. I used to be an extrovert, now I'm an introvert. But how can we change like this? This is the Titanic. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is stand on the edge of the Titanic, and when this side would jump, you know what I'm saying? Because you already knew the iceberg was there. The issue is everybody else in the Titanic, they didn't know the iceberg was there. But if you know the iceberg is going to be right there, well, you stand at the top, the edge, and then you prepare to take that leap, right? And that's all you can do. Now, let's get Psalms.
This is Psalms 12, verse 8. The wicked walk on every side
Right.
when the vilest men are exalted.
There you go, man. We got it.
This is Psalms 12, verse 8.
Right, and that's why I'm basically telling the sister, hey, listen, they are allowed to do what they're doing. The degeneracy is taking over. There's nothing you can do. She was talking about marriages. I'm like, marriages ain't gonna save shit. You know, creating families and raising children. She's talking about, well, we should get in order. I'm like, you got it right. You know, like, hey, yeah, the woman should be in order, right? The woman should be in order. She's talking about, yeah, we should do this. I'm like, but this ain't the place to do that. You know what I'm saying? There is no righteousness in Babylon. There is no establishing righteousness of people. Right? We can't really be a people in Babylon. Right? We cannot be a people in Babylon. All right? We have to be delivered before we become a people. So sitting there like begging on your woman's head to be in order and to be like Sarah, it's a waste of time. This ain't a place for that. All right? This ain't a place for that, man. First things first, you gotta win the war. When you win the war, then everything else gets established.
It's the book of 1 John chapter 5, verse 19.
Right?
And we know that we are of the Most High, and the whole world lies in wickedness.
But the whole world is lying to wickedness. And the world has power. Esau had power to execute the wickedness. It tells you that. You get, what's that, Micah 2? Micah 2:1. Keep that, brother.
God, this is the book of Micah chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their bed.
Yeah, man. You see the Rothschilds and all that. And I know it's hard for a lot of Israelites to understand because the world has, the average Israelite has grown weak. It's not just an Israelite. The average individual was raised in a soft era. And it's crazy because it's not like we're not living in a violent era. It's just weird. It's like a mixture of a violent era because we've been at war, right? The world is constantly at war, and the weapons of destruction are even greater than the wars of the past. So, but yet, it's like a mixture of a violent world with soft men. You know what I'm saying? So it's this weird dynamic of violent, soft men. And that's what Esau is. Esau is a violent, soft man. So he wages war in a weird way. Where the only way to deal with it is spiritual. The Lord got to help. He's got too much power, right?
When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands.
Like that. So when they lay in bed, while you lay in bed and you think about all the good deeds, you pray that the Heavenly Father gives you a good, sane mind, right? A whole mind, to do alms and good deeds, right? You ask for faith. Well, you have to understand there's an opposite to that. The opposite is you have individuals, Edomites, primarily top elites, laying in their beds, conjuring up different thoughts on how to really hurt the nation of Israel. You know what I'm saying? And you have to accept that this is reality. Jacob Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, every time they gather around, it's like, man, we gotta get these motherfuckers, man. Right? They check. See, all right, what's the state of what's the state of the black man? Is she still doing a good job destroying the black men? Good. Let's help. Well, you see that black woman that's on trial right now, right? Willis? That's her name, right? Willis. That black woman in Atlanta. Do you see how she's acting in court? Bro, she's in court acting and speaking to the judge and the prosecutor as if she's in her house screaming and yelling at children. I'm like, we all been to court, right? In some way, shape, or form. As Israelite men, we've all been to court in some way, shape, or form. Brother, you know as an Israelite man, you can't talk like that in the court. You see that shit, man? She telling the prosecutor, and you know what I'm saying? Another feeling. Like I said, I talked about the feeling that you get when you get pulled over by the cops. The feeling that reminds you that you're a slave in America. There's another feeling when you have to go to court. You fellas know what I'm talking about, man. You see that circular shape? There's like a feeling in that courtroom if you've been there and you know, hey man, all these crackers hold my destiny in their hands, man. Right? And they're sitting there, they got the whole procedures and this and you just sit there and they telling you gotta get a lawyer so you can't even speak. And then you sit there, first of all, you gotta do what you gotta do. If you got a long hair, you gotta cut it. The lawyer's like, hey man, you gotta cut that hair. The lawyer say, hey man, you gotta wear dress shirts and dress pants. Why? Because these people control the life. You get out there, you quiet. What do you say? Yes sir, yes ma'am. Yes sir, yes ma'am. Oh, as a matter of fact, the nigga that she was dealing with, Nate Wade, the Negro she was dealing with, right? You see how he was acting in court? He was sitting there like, yes ma'am, yes ma'am. And she was like, well, did you do this? And he was like, yes ma'am, no man. What article? No man. She gets in there and she says, I know Mr. Nate is a selling judgment. That's what that's well, this going back to the evil, right? Esau has the power. Esau sets that whole stage because that shows that what woman, the Israelite woman, is second authority over the Israelite man. All right. Yeah, man.
Each time you go in there, like, you gotta take up the belt to make it look good. You gotta take up your hands. So you gotta stand up when the judge comes in.
Yeah. And you don't get to sit back and lean back and say, didn't you hear what I said? Yeah? Like, bro, man, listen, I've been in court, man. The only people I've seen in court wild out was all these black women. And then you're like, this is contempt. Like, why are we acting like this shit ain't supposed to happen? Why? Because Esau's like, hey, man, we normally should correct the black woman, but we need to let the Israelite man know that woman cannot be corrected because they don't mind her talking crazy as long as they know when she goes back home, she's bringing chaos in the homes. All right? Go ahead.
It's the book of Habakkuk, chapter 1, verse 4. Therefore the law is slack, and judgment does never go forth.
Now, how the hell you gonna check your black woman when you see her and she out here talking crazy to Esau? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't check that woman when the devil that oppresses your ass is letting her talk shit. So you understand, hey man, this whole dynamic goes back to the dynamic of what? Of the Garden of Eden. This relationship between Eve and the serpent. And they all conspiring against you. Right?
For the wicked do compass about the righteous, therefore wrong judgment proceedeth.
Right, wrong judgment proceedeth. When we go out there, we get the whole book handed on us. Right? But when it's our women, they don't. Now, of course, we're not sitting here. I mean, we understand the rules of warfare, right? So as Israelite men, we don't sit here and say, hey man, the reason why we all fucked up is because of the Israelite women. Because women don't win, nor do they lose wars. Wars are won and lost between men. Alright? Women are just a tool being used by enemies. Alright? But you know it, you explain it for what it is, but you still don't get distracted into thinking that the reason why we fell is because of the Israelite woman. That's foolishness. The reason why we fell is because of what? It's because of the lack of faith of the Israelite man towards his power, Yahweh outside. That's the reason why we fell.
Habakkuk chapter 1, verse 7. They are terrible and dreadful. Their judgment and their dignity shall proceed of themselves. It's basically like brothers when I was speaking on their judgment, their court system, how they structure the world, how everything's upside down. The Israelite women's over the men. You know, all this wrong judgment, man. Nothing right.
Even the children. I mean, even on a day-to-day basis, I notice two group of people when they walk towards you, I notice people kind of like stay to the side. I literally seen that. I seen a woman walk in front of me, right? Now the child, I seen there was a woman and there was a child in front of me. First, the child was was running down the lane, and it was Jake. He kind of stepped to the side. Then the mother was walking right behind. He stepped to the side. When I was walking behind, he standing on flat like, hey, we gonna bump shoulders. Like, what the fuck? You see what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, why do you like it's off? So everybody is trained to play this game of chaos and disorder where the women and children are worshipped, aka what? Semiramis and Tammuz. That's what that spirit is all about. Semiramis and Tammuz. You notice it's the what? The woman, the queen of heaven, the woman and the child. You notice as an Israelite man, the only time you cared for, by an Israelite woman is when you're a child. But when you grow up to be a man, you get hated on real hard. Right?
Isaiah 3 verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors,
Right.
and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err and destroy the way of thy path.
Now, this goes back to Michael 2, because it goes back to the power. All right? It goes back to who's establishing this type of wickedness on our path to make us stumble. Well, it's Esau. All right? And don't be foolish, man. Esau's pretty good at being the devil. All right? What he does what's called psychological warfare. It's a psych war. All right? We always talk about our culture, our so-called community, right? When you wake up and realize the whole lifestyle is a lie. You know what I'm saying? Your whole community lifestyle is a lie. Your grandmama, your mother, your grandmama, everything that they coach was lies. You've been living a lie, so you got to unplug from the matrix. All right?
Jeremiah 13 verse 23, the back of Rob, we saw about Esau. Can the Egyptian change his skin, or the leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil.
Hey man, I just posted a video on the chat. I know the brother seen it. Before I pulled up the camp, I posted a video on the chat. And you got this damn dude, you know what I'm saying, with the black people. She talk about stay at home dad while she go out there and get the bread. And he's sitting there like a little bitch. Like, ooh, with this shit, man. Yeah. Ooh, with this shit, man. And then you go into the comment board, it's a litany of comments, like, giving like heart shakes and congratulating them. Like, yeah, like stay at home dad. How great is like, oh, this is great. Oh, he's lucky. Because his woman goes to work amongst other men and he stays at home with a baby. Did you know that scientifically has been proven that the more a man is around his woman and his children, his testosterone level drops? That's scientifically. Look it up. The more time you spend with your woman and child, your testosterone level comes down. And that's why, hey man, to add on to it, yeah, he's an avid. Wow. Alright? So you gotta understand it. So that's why right now, you see for the most part, the Heavenly Father has done what? Which is clear in the brother's life. If you sincere men in the Lord in this gospel, in these times of warfare, the Heavenly Father ain't gonna be throwing a whole bunch of women at you. He needs us to be, what? At the prime age, right? Of what? Spiritually, mentally, and physically. That's why he comes to us, what? In our youth, in our prime age. So, and that's true, your testosterone level must be high, because you're at war.
That's the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their bed.
Yeah, that's why when you go back to the 300 and Gideon, you know, the Lord was like, hey man, you got a couple warriors around you that ain't really about that. They ain't really gonna fight. And how did he do? He said, what, the ones who licked the water, it was right, the ones who scooped the water without looking, and the ones who scooped the water while looking, you can kind of tell who's ready. And then certain guys, like it tells you certain guys get married, they can chill with their family, man. Because their testosterone level is low. You know what I'm saying? The last thing you want to do is go at war and worry about death. If you want to go to war, you cannot worry about death because it can happen. There's a 50% chance you're gonna die. And it's a 50% chance you're gonna live, just like what we in this gospel. It's a 50% chance you can make it as a part of your life. Because see, there's a 50% chance you can takes that guillotine, right? That's the reality of it. So you can't be at the highest form that you need to be when you out here worried about wives and children, man. That's the reason why in Great Millstone, that's not our priority. Our priority is salvation. It's spiritual warfare, right?
Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their bed.
You got something? Look it up.
This is Wisdom of Solomon 5 verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him.
Right, because they're going to say, oh, that GMS is anti-family. Well, hey, there's a season for everything, man. All right? If my mindset being in creating families with chaotic women and chaotic children, well, it's not going to work. First, we win the war and we worry about everything else, right? That's what we do. We win the war first and then we worry about everything else. Do not give me a wife as a slave, bro. Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? But the majority of Israelites are comfortable with that. Hey, give me a little Toyota, a house, and a wife, right? And 2 children, and I'm okay. Nah, man.
So I'll bring that up because you got to be bold.
Yeah, it's only 6%. 6%. Left. That's it? That ain't good. Yeah, I didn't mean to say yeah.
You can't think too much. You gotta be, your instincts gotta be in. Like us, we all moving on what? We moving on spiritual instincts. It's called spiritual possession. Alright? And your instincts kind of comes down around that energy of women and children and all that. Like, it's good if you have them, you spend time with them, but do not forget the priority. The battle has to be what? It has to be about pushing the word. Glorifying the hell about your own child.
Quran spoke about a man that's fearful. This is under the laws of warfare. Deuteronomy 20, verse 8.
Right?
And the officers shall speak further unto the people,
Right.
and they shall say, what man is there that is fearful and faint-hearted? Let him go and return unto his house.
Hey man, that's what it is. Right? If you're fearful and faint-hearted, why? You scared. You scared because you think, hey man, there's something happening to me. There's something happening to me, man. Who's gonna take care of my wife and my children? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, this is a great reason to fight. But man, I got my children, man. I got my wife, man. I gotta protect them. Well, that means this ain't for you. This is not for you. Because you gotta believe that the best way to protect your loved ones is by doing the will of your whole life. Which is to come out here and prophesy and fully engage into the spiritual warfare. Right?
Deuteronomy 20, verse 8. And the officers shall speak further unto the people, and they shall say, what man is there that is fearful and faint-hearted? Let him go and return unto his house, lest his brethren's heart faint as well as his heart.
There you go, man. That's why you got some guys sometimes they come together and they shake. They shake why? Because they have doubt. And the word doubt goes back to the word doubt. Double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So while he's here with you, you're thinking, hey man, we in this thing, right? On some, what's that, movie 300? You know what I'm saying? Remember when Leonidas met with the, that guy right there, what's his occupation? He was like, I'm a farmer. He can't say, well, yo, that guy right there, what's his occupation? He said something, I'm a blacksmith or something. He was like, Spartan, what's our occupation? Ooh. That's all I have to say, man. Them dudes, the Spartan left knowing, man, they wasn't coming back. And they was able to what? They was able to establish their name in history. Alright? So that's the same mentality that we got. If you ain't got that mentality, man, and you kind of, I don't know, man. I don't know, I got one foot in, one foot out. Hey, it's not good enough. Because the trials and tribulation is coming down. Jacob's trouble is coming down, and everybody will be tried. Everybody will be tried, right?
verse 1. A psalm of David. Give unto the Lord Yahweh, O ye mighty. Give unto the Lord Yahweh glory and strength.
Right, you gotta give glory